Welcome, everybody. It is, as always, What the Friday. We're making this a thing because y'all wanted it to be a thing, and we like being a thing. And Molly and I have to have a conversation at least once a day about things, so we might as well share it
Yes.
with you guys.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so Molly, I wanted to start out. Maybe some good news for once in the week. Um, the courts have been really putting the hammer down now on the Trump
Yeah.
administration.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
It's because
Um,
the tariffs. I mean, I just want to say, like, how depressing is it that it was like the autocracy? Nah, that's not that's fine. Like, what's autocracy? All of this stuff. And then it's like, well, they don't like the tariffs.
right.
The end of the
Look.
day is don't like the tariffs.
You know what? I'll take them not liking the tariffs over them liking autocracy, right? I mean
Yeah.
that's the real key here is like if they don't like the tariffs and it's a gateway drug for them to not like the illegal deportations,
Right. We'll
okay,
take it.
I'll take the
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Take whatever win you can get out of these things, because and I think the judges, the courts have also been very, very direct with the administration this week. Like, what you are doing is illegal. We are not fucking around anymore.
Nine
Don't,
zero,
yeah,
nine
9-0.
zero,
Don't keep
nine
doing this
zero.
shit. And if you
Yeah,
keep doing this shit, we will do bad things. I don't know that they're gonna do bad things yet, but hang on, I gotta plug my phone in here because I don't charge my
9-0.
phone.
I mean, 9-0. This court is not.
For this
They.
court to issue a
Yeah,
9-0 ruling on anything is some shock and awe. And
yeah,
I think the
exactly.
administration was pretty shocked this week by the fact that they didn't get a free ride again. And I think they want to look. I think they want the conflict. They want to fight over the immigration stuff, but they're getting a fight over immigration, over tariffs, over Doge in the courts now. Like the courts are really like finally understanding and waking up to the fact that this is a real constitutional crisis, and if you don't do something now, you can't do something later.
So, so let's talk. Let's talk for a minute about what the moment was where this broke through. I think that where people started to get nervous was this moment when Chuck Grassley was talking to
Mm-hmm.
a town hall, and one of the
Yep.
constituents said, "Why," in a very thick Southern drawl,
Yep.
"is
Midwestern, but close
Iowa,
enough. Yeah.
Iowa?" It's not
I was
Southern,
not the
right? It's
South.
right.
It's mid.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Go fuck yourself. Anyway, but it was like a sort of it did not sound like a coastal elitist. Let me rephrase.
Correct.
And he was like, "Why you gotta send that guy?" And to hear Chuck Schumer, to hear Chuck Grassley,
Right.
speaking of coastal elitists, to hear Chuck Grassley say, "I don't have any power. That's not what Congress does." Like, that was not a great moment for the
No,
party in
it
power.
was a moment where just like the courts have to make a decision if they're going to exercise power in a constitutional system, so does the entire Senate and House.
Right.
And if they give it away, it doesn't come back. If you give the power away that you have under the Constitution, it doesn't just like come back once you've given it away. The bad guys will take and take and take and take and take.
Which is what
And
we're seeing right now.
it's exactly what we're seeing right now. It's exactly the kind of the administration's contempt for all these things, for the law, for the courts, for Congress, for the Senate, for institutions, for human rights, all these things. I feel like we're getting into a point where all this pressure on the White House and the administration is real now. And because they've screwed up the economy so badly, because they've
Mhm.
absolutely rat fucked the economy at every level, um, I think it's harder for them to do the shittiest possible things. I think it's harder for them to keep this up.
So let's do 2 seconds on the economy.
Yeah,
Crashing the markets, bad, but the thing that really fucked Donald Trump is the bond market, right? The bond
a
market
hundred
said,
percent.
"Your credit is no good here. Your debt, nobody wants it." Now,
Right.
There's a larger question we don't know. Again, this is like the fundamental problem with this administration. Are they incompetent or are they corrupt? And the answer is both.
Right.
Um, but we don't know
Overlapping
if,
Venn diagram.
right, exactly. We don't know how much of this is like China dumping treasuries because we are also at a low key Cold War with China.
I think it's a. I think China's winning that Cold War right now.
Are
I
you
think.
kidding me? They're competent.
I think that we while you can recognize that China has a lot of problems in its economy and its government, and its people, and it's run by evil people, they aren't stupid.
Right. And they're
And the
actually,
idea
this
in
is
MAGA
good for
world,
them.
it's like
Yeah.
those mysterious Orientals will never defeat us. They're
Right.
whipping the shit out of this administration every
Yeah, they
minute of the
are.
day.
They
They
are.
are
They are.
from in every possible way, including the way that MAGA gets hurt the worst, which is not taking jobs out of red districts, or hurting red districts economically. It's memeing better than they do, because
Right.
MAGA is all about the meme and the social media and the Chinese are just slaughtering them on these things, just absolutely taken to the cleaners. Um, and it sounds trivial, but it really is something those people care about. They really care about that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, we are, things are, this is not, we sort of bopped into a trade war with no plan, right?
No,
The
there's
plan
never a
was
plan.
175,000% tariffs on China and 10% tariffs on everyone else. We're going to bring manufacturing back to America, but there's no money to build those factories because no one's organized this. And also, we might change it tomorrow. So if you
So
started
why
building
would
a
you invest?
factory, you'd be fucked anyway.
So Molly, staying on the economy for a minute, I wanted to get your vibe on. We're hearing a lot of Trump now turning his fire onto Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve, and
Yeah, that'll
I'm
solve our. We have too much faith in the financial market. So let's crash them by pulling
that's
at the one sane person involved in this whole
that
fiasco.
that was
Yeah,
what I was going to ask you next. Is this idea spectacularly bad or apocalyptically spectacularly bad?
let's fire the one competent person in this whole fiasco because he won't cut interest rates. By the way, we are very likely, I don't want to say we're very likely, that it seems super likely. Okay, I'm going to say we're likely. We are bumbling into stagflation. Stagflation,
No question.
a problem where you have everything getting more expensive and a recession. And
Right.
what happens when you have a recession and inflation is that there's not everything you do either fucks up one or the other. So if you lower interest rates,
You get inflation.
inflation goes up. If you raise interest rates, recession goes up.
Yep.
So you cannot do anything but fucking pray. That is what the trade war did, was turn. You see, we had this soft landing, right? But because nobody ever reads the news or gives a fuck about what's actually real, Donald Trump promised them sneakers, so they were like, Donald Trump. So we
Right.
had a soft landing. So Donald Trump was like, no more soft landing. We're bringing manufacturing back to the United States. And we're going to make everything so expensive no one can buy anything. Okay.
You, it, it's just. I mean, sometimes, you and I both talked about this a million times. He's not this super secret devious mastermind. Everybody, he's just dumb. He's mostly just dumb and has bad ideas, and bad people around him give him more bad ideas.
Chile
This one,
1973. What happened in Chile 1973? I don't fucking know. Tell me what happened in
oh
Chile
wait,
1973.
oh wait, the government
Because one,
collapsed. Well, we collapsed
yeah,
the government, but that's another
yes.
story.
Is there a CIA somewhere else that is collapsing our government who can help us get out of this thing? And I'm
Look,
okay with that.
here's the thing. At this point, Trump has opened up our country to enormous vulnerabilities, where like the
It's
MSS in
Doge.
China and the
That's
FSB in Russia,
Doge, baby.
they don't even need they don't even need to do an intelligence operation against us. They've got a guy in the Oval Office who's fucking up more than they could possibly ever fuck us up.
It's true.
I
It's
mean,
true.
it's so striking to me how little it took for Trump to hand to our two biggest global competitors and enemies the keys to fucking America up profoundly. And it just I'm always struck by by every day. I wake up every day and it's just like nothing about his positions has done a single favorable thing to this country. We're not bringing jobs back. The tariffs are only the tariffs.
Right. People are getting depressed, so we're gonna talk happy talk. Okay, you want to hear something happy?
Yes, let's talk happy
People
talk. We got a few more minutes
depressed.
with you. I know. You know, you
I,
got a clock.
you got 6 minutes. 6 minutes of happy talk right now. You
Yes,
ready?
go.
This is such a bad angle for me. You can see all of the lines. Okay, 6 minutes of happy talk.
Okay.
Talk to Ann Applebaum on my podcast, Fast Politics. Don't say we're in Germany, 1933. Well, they were smart people in that government. Um, that thank God we're not in Germany, 1970. Like 1933. Everyone in this is so stupid. I mean, that said, we could all still have
Right.
terrible stuff happen, um, but I want for 2 seconds talk to Ann Applebaum on my podcast, Fast Politics. Please join us. I have spent all my money, and my husband is going to divorce me. Um, don't laugh; it's true. He won't divorce me though because it's too much work.
And you're too fabulous.
That trust me, you're not married to me. It's so bad. Um, what the worst thing? Being an only child makes you unbearable to be married to. Just 2 seconds, okay? Ann Applebaum comes on my podcast. She says I'm really worried about how quickly this is going. But one good thing is the fact that it's going so quickly actually is good because it took Orban 10 years to mush a tiny country into autocracy.
Right.
America is enormous, right? It's huge. It's probably one of our biggest problems is we're too big to govern. So the good news here is that there's massive pushback. People are not happy. The government is filled with fucking morons, right? So they can't even, when they're trying to do bad stuff, they can't even figure out how to do it.
Right.
We got Donald Trump. We got that crazy guy, the bond salesman, who
What, Nick?
is Lutnick, who is just a fucking disaster.
Total
We
train
have
wreck.
on television every day. My guy is the greatest North Korean dictator. I love him so much. I mean, just like it is absolutely unequivocally, it is Veep. It is Veep, but it's Timu Veep.
Everybody always thinks, oh, Washington is House of Cards. It's never been House of Cards. It's always been Veep, people.
Yes, it's
And
always
these
been
people
Veep.
are more VP than Veep.
Yeah, that's right. It's Veep if the writers were bad writers.
Correct. And they weren't bad writers on Veep. And
They
but
were
this
very good
show,
writers on Veep. We love them.
that's an interesting
Hi,
theory though.
Frank
That
Rich. We love you.
it's going so fast. It is going so fast that the machine is pretty rickety that they're
Yeah.
building. It's
Oh,
got a lot of
just
stress points. And again, I go
you
back to this piece of good
you can't
news.
go for Harvard and Canada. You're at war with
Right.
Harvard, Canada, China.
I just
Everyone, they're
wonder.
all Democrats. Every
Look, I
foreign
have to salute
student.
Harvard for what they did because
Yeah.
I'm excited about the fact that Trump has now poked the bear of the greatest production of legal minds in this country.
Every member of the Supreme Court
Yes,
want
they're
all.
going.
They're all
Harvard
adults.
Law, Harvard Law. The Harvard Law mafia.
Billions and billions of dollars. Like, I mean, it is just I mean, it's like Canada, right? They're
Right,
rich, they're nice, they're pretty, they're 10 people, you know,
and
they're
yet
just
underneath it, when you fuck with them, they will come at you with a chainsaw.
elbows up, bitch. I mean, like, I don't even know what that means.
I
It's
don't
like,
either, but I like the
but
sound of it.
I'll take it. No, I mean they have gone to war with the stupidest fucking people. And it's funny because had they just slowly targeted people that were, the people that know, America, we are not a great, we have not great, one of the big failings of 2016 was people saying this is not who we are. We are the country of Jim Crow. This is exactly who we
This
are.
is
This is
exactly who we are.
exactly we. This is we are both the United States of amnesia and the country that created Jim Crow. Like this is yes, this is
This
us.
is not, yeah, this is not a coincidence with these things.
No,
So, hey, Molly, I know we got to let you go. You've got another thing
yes,
coming
I
up,
have to interview um.
but I'll be
We
talking to
will do
you
this
on,
again
and I'm talking to you this Sunday
for the
on
Fast
for
Politics
Fast Politics.
podcast.
As always,
Please
folks, tune into
listen.
Molly's Fast Politics podcast. It
That's
is
all I
phenomenal.
have. I need it
Oh,
because otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. Okay.
you need
Go-
a mission. You need a bigger mission now.
I have nothing. Goodbye, everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you for
Molly. We'll see you
having
next
me.
time.
Bye.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes if that's okay with you. Listen, I want to give a shout out to Chris Van Hollen, who did something important. It wasn't just that he met with Camara Abrego Garcia, and it wasn't just that he pressured the El Salvadorian government into doing this because it took a lot of pressure. It was that he broke one of the bullshit spells in Washington D.C. that had been cast by Trump this week. This whole lie, this whole illusion. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. It's now over. It's in the hands of the El Salvadorian government. It was a lie, and now Van Hollen has proved it was a lie. He has gone there and been stubborn. And there's a point in America where our stubbornness is a superpower sometimes. You can look back on the big things that have happened in our lives and our history. There were a lot of moments where people could have said, "Oh shit, it's too hard to fight this. Fuck it, we're not going to do it. Civil rights, too complicated to do. Going to divide the country too much. The Civil War, too complicated. Going to divide the country too much. The franchise for women, too complicated. Going to divide the country too much." Being stubborn sometimes is saying, no, fuck you, we're not having slavery anymore. No, fuck you, we're going to grant civil rights to women. No, fuck you, we're going to grant civil rights to all Americans. No, fuck you, we're going to go to the moon. No, fuck you, we're going to keep fighting communism. No, fuck you, we're going to defeat the Nazis and the Japanese Empire. Sometimes saying no, fuck you, is a superpower. And I appreciate what Van Hollen did in this because it would have been easy to say, yeah, these guys are assholes. Nothing, I can't do anything about it. It would have been easy to say, these guys, they've got control of it. We can't stop it. And oh well, that's too bad. He didn't take that attitude. He took the correct attitude. The correct attitude was go fuck yourself. I'm staying. I'm getting the interview with the guy. And it also was a moment that busted up that White House, Pam Bondi, Ed Martin, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem bullshit circle. He's a hardened criminal. He's the most dangerous man in the world. He's like Bin Laden with a Spanish accent. Fuck you. He is not. It humanized him a little bit. It got his wife into the national discussion here. It continued also. One more thing that Van Hollen did here that I think is enormously important. This administration has continued to defy legal orders from the courts concerning Abrego Garcia, and more broadly, everyone who's been deported without any sort of habeas corpus, any sort of rule of law procedure, any sort of civil justice procedure, just on the whim of this claque of human traffickers in the DHS. The courts have now seen there are possibilities for getting access to these people that, and again, I know that MAGAs don't believe that people with surnames that are not like Smith and Jones have civil rights, but they do in this country. Even when they are not citizens of this country, they are granted due process. And so this is a wedge that pokes into the CCOT fantasy that the White House built up and Stephen Miller built up and Tom Homan built up and Kristi Noem built up, that once they're in CCOT, it's all over. They can never escape. They are afraid right now in the administration. They're afraid. They know that the courts have called bullshit. The courts have said, no, you're lying, fuck you. And the rulings that have come down from Reagan appointed judges and Bush appointed judges in the last few days that have absolutely torn the fucking bark off of these people. If I were Pam Bondi and I were Ed Martin and I were Tom Homan and I were Christine Nome and I was Stephen Miller, I'd be worried because Donald Trump's get out of jail free card does not protect you. Does not protect you. Not one of you is covered by Donald Trump's magic voodoo order that the Supreme Court gave him. You guys are all going to be liable for human trafficking and kidnapping and a suite of abuses of power that is almost unspeakably broad. The fact you're picking up U.S. citizens, you're picking up legal U.S. residents, the fact that you're picking up people all across the board because one guy out at BYU, a researcher here on a visa, has been deported because he didn't get a fishing license in the state of Utah. The illegality of this is amazing. Van Hollen cracked the egg, he cracked the shell. The illegality of all these things is going to continue to be the soft spot. It is unconstitutional, it is illegal. They're violating state laws and federal laws at scale. So if I were those leaders in DHS and DOJ and the White House, I would be very worried. But I'd be even more worried if I was one of these line guys out there doing the arrest, doing the pickups. They're using Palantir data to snatch people off the street. They're using social media posts to snatch people off the street. Palantir is fueling all this. A great expose by 404 Media this week about how Palantir is the ICE deportation machine. It's running the ICE deportation machine. But if I was you, line DHS guys, DHS agents in the field, ICE people, whatever your current assignment is, and you're rolling up in all your tactical Timmy gear to snatch 19-year-old girls off the street in Boston, or to snatch a 20-year-old guy out of the back of a car in Tallahassee, Florida, who was born in the U.S., by the way, a U.S. citizen. If you're snatching people out of universities because they said something you don't like about Israel, that's not a you're not fighting anti-Semitism with that. What you are doing is violating American principles and law. So if I was the rank and file DHS folks, I'd start working real hard to make sure that you are playing everything by the book. And I know none of you want to in front of your friends go, "Hey, are we legal on this?" Because I get the culture. I get the law enforcement culture in DHS. You guys all want to be the toughest motherfuckers on the block. But abuse of power and following orders, they don't go together. Historically speaking, when these things unravel, and they tend to unravel, you know Tom Homan's going to throw under the bus first? The rank and file guys out there in the field. Yeah, those agents got crazy. They went rogue on us. We had no idea what was happening. You sure about that? Because the actions you take on their illegal orders are illegal actions. The actions you take are criminal actions. And no matter how tough you think you are right now, and you're all tooled up in your level 4 body armor, and you're all tooled up, again, like you're going after bin Laden when you're actually going after 20-year-old college students, unarmed college students. For all that you feel invulnerable now, there's going to come a moment when you are vulnerable, when the law comes down. And remember, the statute of limitations on these criminal acts, Trump will be long, long dead before those statute of limitations expire. Kidnapping, it's federal crime. Human trafficking, federal crime. The abuse of your sovereign power issued by the government, you guys are in for a bad ride, because Trump will not be in power forever. He will not control the world forever. He will not protect you forever. And I promise you, Stephen Miller and Christy Nome and Tom Homan and Ed Martin and Dan Bongino and Cash Patel and the rest of this clown car, they will throw you the rank and file under the bus absolutely the second things start going wrong. They will throw them under the bus that millisecond. All right, folks, listen, this has been another edition of What the Friday. I appreciate you all. Hey, do me a favor if you can. Subscribe to my Substack. There are free and there are paid options. We have a lot of free content every week, a little bit of paid content every week. It's all very much appreciated. You can also subscribe to Lincoln Square, where I do a lot of writing and a lot of appearances. Follow me on the socials at the Rick Wilson, except for Elon Musk's social, because he's still too much of a delicate bitch baby to allow me back on his platform because I hurt his feelings. Anyway, folks, it is a beautiful day. It is going to be a glorious Easter weekend. I spend time with your families this weekend. We're about to go into a phase of a lot of hot conflict with this administration, and we need you all to be rested and sane. Take a little break. As the kids say, touch grass, look up at that beautiful sky. I'm going to go ahead and close this out now because I have kept you long enough, and Molly has moved on to her next assignment. I'm just going to turn this for a moment and let you have a moment of zen looking into the backyard. That garden's going to come along here shortly. Anyway, folks, thanks everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. And end it.